Hi everyone, today I'd like to play you a piece of music which is called Reemerging, and it's just been written in response to the coronavirus pandemic by a friend of mine, somebody I've known since I was a teenager growing up in Sydney. She is the French-Australian composer and saxophonist Katia Beaugeais.
Katia, hi, how are you?
Good, thanks, Amy. Good to speak to you from the other side of the world.
You're in Sydney. I wish I was in Sydney. I was supposed to be in Sydney right now, and I'm in London. but,
Yeah.
um, but thank you for writing such a beautiful, lovely, emotive piece of music. It's really, really gorgeous. We've known each other for many years, and I think growing up, I actually knew you more as a saxophonist than as a composer. And when you sent me this piece, it was immediately apparent just how well it fell under the fingers, because you're such an accomplished saxophonist yourself. And when you in the score, you're very specific about how you want everything played, even telling me which speeds of vibrato you want in various places, which is great.
Yep.
Yet, when I sent you the initial recording, you were really open to my interpretation as well, which I think is amazing. And so the question I'd love to ask you is, what's it like to write a piece of music for somebody who plays your instrument when that piece of music is written for that instrument? Because usually when I'm working with a composer on a new piece of music, they don't play the saxophone. So this has been very unusual for me.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks so much for asking me to write a piece for you. It's been something I've been thinking about, and I thought one day we'll finally collaborate. And sadly, in this virus sort of problem that's occurred in the world, it's been great to have that opportunity anyway to produce something creative together and create and collaborate on this. So basically, when I love writing for other saxophonists, and the main thing is that it's my PhD research, which I'm finishing, is all about the creative collaboration side of things. And what I love is to analyze how much my saxophone role affects how I compose for someone else and other instruments or a saxophonist. So in your case, I was really well aware, I'm always really well aware when I write for other saxophonists that I take the composer role and I create a piece, although I'm obviously thinking that I'm playing it. As I write, I can feel myself playing the saxophone and I come up with the ideas and I can imagine myself playing it. I really try and separate that this is to someone else. And what I really stress, which hopefully I stressed enough in the email to you, that apart from my specific indications, that I really wanted you to take it on board, my suggestions. However, it is your performance at the end of the day. And I love that when saxophonists put their own interpretation in it. And I love that side of it, that I have the idea and I've written it on the page, and then another saxophonist can actually sort of bring it to life. And also, I actually learn a lot from that too, because it's your interpretation that then, like the demo you sent me, I heard a lot of other things that triggered other ideas. Right. That I then thought, oh, actually, can you do this here? Can you do that here? And then that, so it's a real collaborative effort, I find, both ways. And I think that's really important between composer and performer. And in my case, yes, I do play the saxophone. So I'm a little bit I have very specific ideas with the vibrato, as you said, like the slow and the fast vibrato and the trills and all that and the speed. But it's a suggestion in the score, and it's to more help the saxophonist. Yeah. So I try and help the saxophonist rather than be sort of, you have to do it like this way, which is not at all like, I don't like having that side of it. Yeah.
Oh, it's such a fascinating topic. Thank you. You've called the piece Reemerging. Would you mind just telling us what it's about, where it came from?
Yeah, so when you asked me to write the piece, I thought, I was in a sort of a period that I felt all the concerts and commissions were literally on hold, as we all have been affected. And I wanted to write a piece that was really soothing and meditative, that represented performers and composers and what we're experiencing. And then, as I like writing, when it's for saxophone, I'm a bit obsessed with contemporary playing techniques, but I like using them in a really atmospheric way. So as I thought, well, this piece is going to have very emerging, re-emerging feel to it. So the first note you play is really symbolic. It's a multiphonic, and as we can play 2 or more notes on a saxophone, and you have used a special fingering that I indicated to you. And so that's a lucky part of me being a saxophonist. And it has this sort of re-emerging sort of feel. That first note is so important. It's very difficult, I know, to play so super soft. And then I really wanted this sort of high G coming out. And it's very symbolic, that high G. So, and then it returns back to the multiphonic. And as multiphonics are they're not like a clear chord, like a piano chord. It's got this sort of obscure, sort of unstable sound quality, and that's really how I'm feeling at the moment, and we're all feeling like that at the moment. All artists in this sort of we're on our careers are on hold at the moment until we can travel again. And yeah.
Oh well, yeah, and of course there are so many different aspects to that title, reemerging, which apply to different people in different ways throughout the world at the moment.
Yeah, and it's actually, when I was writing the piece for you, because it's my street is so quiet with everyone being in lockdown, there was this chorus of birds outside my window. Mm-hmm. And I was just, when I write for saxophone, I don't think too much, I just write. And as you said, it was so great because you left it really open for me just to write anything I liked. And then suddenly there was like these amazing chorus and singing birds. So I thought, okay, I've got to do something with that. So it was basically, I played around with some quarter tone trills, and it was great because that was a very free, I love putting a bit of improvisatory sort of free feel in my music. And I loved it how you just were able to create that ambiance with your quarter tone trills and the trill speed and all that. I suggested a few things, but then you actually then took it on another level and you increased the speed of the trills, you decreased it. And I really actually liked, with the big melodic moments of the piece, which is a really reassuring moment, that's a really important part of the piece. I loved how you played that really beautiful thin, sort of serene vibrato that was very floating. It was very reassuring and uplifting moment of the piece. So that was really, really beautiful moment. And it really sort of showcased sort of the amazing quality of the soprano saxophone that you produce. So that was really lovely. Sorry?
I love that bit. It's lovely.
Yeah, it has this really rising feel, and that can actually, and the rippling sort of semiquaver passages, that comes from all the birds, and that leads into the whole bird section. So, and then after that, it's so important because the title is like this re-emerging, we're going to re-collaborate and we're going to reunite again, and we're going to recreate and re-emerge to produce live music again. So that is really the big symbolic theme of the piece.
Yeah, well, I hope so, because from so many of my performer friends are really, really going to, we don't know when we're going to play again. It might be next year before we step on a stage again, and it's awful. And people are going through a very tough time, and this is only the start of it. So it's wonderful to be able to express that, and so immediately as well, and to share it with the world right now. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for playing it, Amy, and thank you for your beautiful.
Enormous pleasure. Okay, hope to see you again before too long. Bye.
Okay.